fairly soon in the next couple weeks. All right, so here is a really simple heuristic for those of you, and all this can be really done using heuristics and templates and sort of mental models that you can apply to building your tiny business. So this is something that I was talking to someone who just joined us last night and was asking me about how to proceed. So, this particular person has a significant sized audience, but has no products, has never created anything. So, the first thing I recommend doing is starting with these 4 questions, tiny questions. And this is all predicated on being willing to ask your audience, right? You have to be willing to ask your audience what they want. And I encourage you to stick through to the end of this because I'll show you an example of something that we're doing that's been completely a waste of time because I didn't ask my audience, right? So, number one, size. Like, how big is the problem that you're solving, right? So if you're creating a tiny product, you want to have a notion of the scope of the solution that you're going to be able to offer, the scope of the problem that is going to allow you to create a solution that has a certain, you know, size to it, right? You don't want us to solve a problem that 3 people in the universe have, and especially if those 3 people aren't willing to pay you to solve the problem. All right, number 2, difficulty. How hard has it been to get help, right? This is obviously something that you're posing to your audience, right? So, size of the problem, like how many people have it, difficulty, how hard is it for them to actually get help, duration, really important, and this is a psychological thing more than anything else, but how long have you searched for a solution? So if you think about something like weight loss or anxiety or even income, like entrepreneurial stuff, how long have you tried to lose weight? How long have you tried to start your own business? How long have you tried to kind of overcome your social anxiety? All right. Number 4, really important as well. All of these are important actually, but urgency. How much longer are you willing to wait to get help, or if a solution is available, to solve the problem now, right? So how urgent do they, or what animating urgency underlies the challenge, right? I mean, how, like how motivated are they to get help? And what's interesting about this is you'll find that in some, really popular niches or topics or kind of, things, there's really not an underlying or animating urgency to fix the problem that they claim to have. And I'll show you in a second how that's kind of manifested in my own business or in our business with Mindful Marketplace. This is actually not a course that I created, but I'll show you in a second how this sort of problem kind of ascended in our own experience. All right, so Marketing 101, if you're solving a problem that people are actually not desperate to fix, you don't have a business, right? So if you're solving something for your audience by dint of creating a tiny product that's not actually helping to heal a hurt or pop a pain or overcome an issue that they actually really want to overcome, you don't have a business. You just have like a blog post. All right, so here's an example from our own community. As you know, like for those of you who are in our Mindful Marketplace community, I have a ton of content on entrepreneurialism, some content on mindfulness and meditation, which is my own interest, and some content that others have created on like empathic personality types, like people who are claimed to be super sensitive in different ways, psychic, or super see auras and all that sort of stuff, right? So what I found in that niche is that, or in that audience, it's super easy to get traffic. Like people click on anything, and you can get free traffic for nothing in a myriad of ways in that sort of niche, right? So we created a low-priced product, $4.99, with a series of checklists and guides and workbooks for empathic personalities. Conversion is terrible. And to this day, as I record this in January, we still get hundreds of visits a day, but very, very few sales for a low price self help product that I thought would be pretty good, right? And people in my orbit who are, friends of mine who are working with us in our mindful marketplace community, created this content with some, help from me, but they were pretty sure this was going to sell well. Like I have a couple good friends who are really into this sort of thing, and we collaborated. And what we're finding is that the conversion sucks. All right. One of the things that I did to test whether it was just our content was shitty or whether it was really that people were just not that interested in buying content like this is I tested this with a well-known product just recently in December where we're sending hundreds of visits, sometimes a day, to a product created by a sounds true, like Oprah-esque sort of author, like someone who's like a Dr. Oz kind of personality, and we're sending the traffic to her rather than to us, and the conversion still stinks. Like people are not buying her book and her course, even though she's a well-known doctor and author in the, in quotes, empath sort of marketplace, right? And for me, this tells me, now it doesn't mean it's terrible for everybody, but for me, this is a bad niche. It's a bad idea to really kind of chase the, traffic for this sort of topic when people aren't seemingly willing to buy anything, right? So, traffic is super easy to acquire for free. That's very appealing, but it's a time suck when nobody is interested in buying our $4.99 product. Oh, and by the way, they're also not willing to buy a $30 product from somebody who's really well known and a celebrity, quasi celebrity in the spiritual growth space as well. All right, so ask your audience, right? I mean, if you have a list, always be willing to ask them, what would you be interested in paying for? Like, what would really be appealing to you to have now to solve a problem, right? And we didn't do this for that niche and suffered as a result, sending tons and tons and tons of traffic to pages that just never really made and still don't make any money, right? So, and I'm not interested, by the way, in empathic personality types. So for me, it's a double whammy. Like I don't even have any passion about that. So it's kind of like a real waste of my attention to even have spent hours, maybe tens of hours working with people who I like, who I love, who are friends and family of mine, but whose idea didn't really pan out, and it cost me a lot of, time. All right, so if people aren't willing to engage or show willingness to interact with your content, like if you ask them what, how big of a problem do you have, how long have you tried to solve it, and, like how urgent do you feel overcoming that today? If the people don't even respond to those questions, they're probably not going to spend money either. Like we did ultimately try at the very end of December to send something like that out to the list, and people just didn't respond. Now, it's also true that they had been on the list for a while and they probably just lost interest in, the newsletter or the email sequence. So it was something that I started on day one, which would have been a pure test, but nonetheless, it just failed completely. All right, so if you're really interested in creating tiny products that make a big impact in your brand, in your business, in your bank account, you have to be willing to engage with your audience. Don't think that just making something that you have that you have passion about and then making a lot of tiny things is going to be a big boon to your brand, to your business, and ultimately to your bank account. All right, if you're interested in joining us, I would love to have you. We have all sorts of really cool and creative things coming in 2022, specifically for tiny authors, tiny creators, tiny makers, marketers, coaches, consultants, etc. If you sign up for our Tiny Revolution, you also get this entire course or entire bundle of courses, which is ideal for building your brand. Whether you're an agency, an author, there's just a ton of content here that I'm really proud of that has truly helped a lot of people and I'm confident it will help you as well. Again, you also get access to me directly. I know a lot of people ask if I take consulting clients, and I really am not doing a lot of consulting, but what I prefer to do is take lots of people in our community that I can help one on one by recording audios and videos like this and then sending them to you, solving the problems or the challenges that you're facing at any given moment. And this comes with all the course content right now that we're offering. It's not going to stay that way. So if you're interested, I'd encourage you to come and join us. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. Thank you so much for watching. And again, you have that little mini course that I just went through in your with the questions and all that in your administrative or in your the back end of your course, modules as well. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful day.